MBA third sem Consumer Behavior Unit 2 Information Search Process. Information Search Process. A consumer identified a problem when he perceives a gap between the existing and desired state of mind. This could happen either due to some internal process or may be influenced by external stimuli, including those provided by a marketer. For example, an advertisement by a marketer informing the consumer about change in fashion this season may stimulate a buyer to buy up to date fashion items. To be sure, however, every gap between the existing and desired state does not automatically result in a need being felt and its satisfaction. The perceived gap tact must cross its threshold level if the need for the product has to motivate a consumer to satisfy it. This threshold level refers to the amount of tension of or energy that is required at the minimum for the drive queue to satisfy a need to occurrence. Marketing efforts therefore aimed at two things: create a gap between the current and desired state of mind and or increase the tension level where drive to satisfy the need occurs. For example, a household with an air cooler probably does feel the need for an air conditioner, but it may not be willing to spend rupees 25,000 for a 1.5 ton AC. The marketer then arranges for a 12-month interest-free installment scheme, whereby the customer has to pay only rupees 2,000 per month over the next 12 months. Such a marketing efforts acts as a driver. Once the need has been felt, the customer needs information on various dimensions related to need satisfying sub-objects. So a consumer is constantly recognizing problems. Having recognized the problem, he moves on to the next stage in the decision making process, which information search. Outline model of information search. In below figure, we have shown a simple outline model of information search. Of course, this is not a universal model in the sense that it does not apply for all kinds of purchase decisions or in all kinds of situations. Problem need recognition, drive to act, motivation, information search, external search, memory retrieval, retention for future use. External search, information search, external search, sponsored sources, marketing mix elements including marketing communication, non-sponsored sources, family, friends, opinions, leaders, media, reports, etc. Process of information, exposure, attention, comprehension, interpretation, acceptance. Outline model of information search, meaning and definition of search. Once the consumer recognized the need, he then engaged in a search process. This means though the consumer looks for potential need satisfiers, search can be defined as the motivated activation of knowledge stored in a memory. Search means acquisition of information from the environment. If we go deep, then we can say that search can be internal or external, as the same implies internal search means retrievals of knowledge of memory, whereas external search consists of collecting information from environment. Factors influencing search. Factors influencing search. Situational. The information environment play a very important role in shaping the behavior of consumer. The physical and social surroundings, time, task, and entertainments antecedent states are the major characteristics that comprise a given consumer situation. Consumer situations can in fact be separated into three main types: communication, purchase, and usage situations. It is very important as well as useful to consider the potential impact of environmental factors in these areas. The effectiveness of marketing messages may often depend on the communication setting. For example, the impact of TV ad will be determined by the program in which it appears, the availability, amount, and also the format and form in which information is made available can affect the decision making. In addition to this, music, layout, point of purchase, materials, etc. For example, retail environment will influence shopping and purchase behavior. Lastly, the situation in which the product has consumption occurs can influence or alter the purchasing patterns of consumer. For example, which brands of rice to be bought in two situations: firstly for personal, secondly for guests. Marketing strategy and tactics are affected by usage situations in several ways. Markets can be segmented according to variety of usage situations. Products. The degree of product differentiation can affect consumer search. If consumers believe that the difference between brands is less, then extensive search is useless. But as the brands become more distinct, search also intensifies. The price of product also affect the search. For highest prices will create greatest concern while purchasing because of risk involved. Hence, greater search is needed. More stable the product category, lesser search is required as consumers rely more on their existing knowledge. For example, milk, cigarettes, etc. On the other hand, unstable categories which are categorized by product innovation or price changes. For example, personal computers, in these computers has to have update knowledge. Similarly, search differs in goods and services. Because more risk is involved in buying services, they may adopt different information search patterns to reduce perceived risk. It is observed that consumers rely more on personal sources for buying services. Retail search is more when consumers perceive important differences across retailers, especially the price factors. Distance between retail competitors can determine the number of stores consumers shop during decision making. Favor stores will be visited if distance increases. The concept of being shopping walls are the best example. In this, the search within the wall is more than between retail competitors. Another factor which has made them successful is the environment in which the consumer can shop freely and browse the mall according to his needs. For example, Shoppers Stop chain is acquiring the Indian market. Consumer. No two individuals are same. Their more characteristics of consumers strongly determine search behavior. Some characteristics are first, involvement. How much the consumer is involved with the product. Whether this involvement is because of more enduring interest in the product than that stimulated by purchase requirements. In this case, ongoing search should be stressed. On the other hand, if consumers' involvement is with the purchase decision which shows consumers' perception of the economic and psychological risk associated with product purchase. In both the cases, higher involvement should lead to greater search. Usually, for low involvement purchases, consumers go in for product trial as a substitute for pre-purchase search. For example, if a consumer comes across new product of lesser price in the market, he buys. Second, knowledge. The consumers, if really only the internal search during buying, this lowers the pre-purchase search. Therefore, knowledge in this case will have negative relationship with external search. If consumer is confident about their ability to judge products, then they look for more information in the involvement in this. Knowledge can be related positively to external search, prelude to information search. Before embarking on actual information collection, a consumer has to answer the following questions. Criteria for evaluating alternative choices based on which he will collect appropriate information. Appropriate mix of information sources, internal and or external. Types of information sought by a potential buyer. Consumer decision making requires information inputs on the following: appropriate evaluating criteria for the solution of a problem, existence of various alternative solutions, performance level or characteristics of each alternative solution on each evaluative criterion. First, evaluative criteria. Suppose an individual receives bonus from his company. He decides to spend it on buying a washing machine. If he does not have a comprehensive idea about it, say whether semi or fully automatic is better, his first thoughts would be, why do I need a washing machine and what features will meet with my requirements? Then he would engage in an external search to determine the features required to meet his needs. Since he has limited knowledge about washing machine as a product category, he would also engage in external search to learn which of the features, say heating elements, a good washing machine must possess. These desired characteristics are his evaluative criteria. Second, appropriate alternatives. During and after searching for appropriate evaluative criteria, or prospective buyer would try to locate various alternative brands. Again, he will engage in internal, say he might already known about BPL, Videocon and Godrej washing machines and external search to his list stored in memory, he may be able to add, say, LG, Whirlpool, etc., to come up with a comprehensive awareness set. Third, alternative characteristics. The customer may choose from among the brands that he knows of. The consumer compares them on the basis of relevant evaluative criteria. This process naturally requires the consumer to gather information on each brand, on each pertinent evaluative criteria. For example, his evaluative criteria could be price, wash capacity, power consumption, heater facility, drying facility, etc. The fourth one is information collection and processing. Assume that our customer has 8 brands of washing machine that he knows of. This constitute his awareness set. The awareness set is turn consists of 3 subcategories. First, awareness set. Set name, explanation, information, implications. Awareness set consists of all the brands that the customer knows of. Customer collects preliminary information on these brands and scrutinize them in a cursory fashion. Innate set. Consumer definitely finds it unworthy of consideration. Consumer is not interested in any information on the brands in this set. Evoked set. Based on preliminary investigation, customer finds them worthy of further attention. Consumer would preferably like to make a final choice in favor of one of the brands from this set. Hence, he is interested in gathering as much information as is needed for decision making on these brands. Inert set. Consumer is different towards these choices. These brands are acceptable if none of the brands from the evoked set can be bought. Thus, while consumer is not actively seeking information on these brands, he passively accepts information on them. The first subcategory is called the evoked set. This comprises of those brands which he thinks are worth further consideration since they can solve his problem. Information search is initially focused on the information being collected about these brands on the evaluative criteria. Thus, while preliminary information may be collected on all the brands in the awareness set, detailed information is sought on brands in the evoked set. On the other hand, a consumer may find some brands completely unworthy of further consideration. For example, he particularly wants a front leading washing machine and third brand has no such model. Such brands constitute his innate set. Brands in the innate set are completely disregarded by the consumer, so much so that even if positive information is available about these brands, consumer will show his disinterest towards such information. Lastly, the consumer may be aware about some brands but may be indifferent towards them. The so called inert set. Consumers will generally accept favorable information about brands in this set, although they do not seek out such information. Brands in this set will be considered only if the preferred brands are not available. Stage of decision making and information search. At different stages in the consumer decision making process, a consumer engages in different types of information search for important read high involvement purchases. He wishes to get optimally maximum information so as to make the best choice, and even after having bought something, we keep examining if the deal was a good one or not. For other purchases, information through an advertisement or even window shopping may prove enough, and for still other products we might not even be aware that we are conducting any search at all. But the fact is that information search is an ongoing activity occurring before, during, and even post purchase. First, pre purchase search. Once the consumer has recognized a problem and feels motivated to solve it, he will engage in pre purchase search. Such search may be purposeful and deliberate. In such direct search, the customer has clear and conscious objective to collect information for solving a specific problem. There is a second type of pre-purchase search called browsing, window shopping, thumbing through catalogs and magazines, reading brochures, etc., without any immediate intent to buy falls in this category. But browsers are potential buyers, hence, a marketer must consider their information needs seriously. A third form, accidental search, occurs when a consumer who is not looking for anything in particular is drawn to a product simply as a result of coming across an attractive display, seeing a persuasive commercial, or by learning about it from friends. Marketers take advantage of selling opportunity that accidental search creates by providing it attractive window displays to lure impulse buyers. Second, post purchase search. In post purchase search, a consumer continues to evaluate other options available in the marketplace. He may be driven to do so simply out of increased interest in the product category and the desire to stay up to date. Alternatively, the motivation may be to seek positive reinforcement that he did make the right purchase. It is essential for the markers to understand the after purchase search needs, since this will one on one hand influence the future buying decisions of the consumers, and on the other it can convert this buyer into an influencer influencing other potential buyers purchases. Pre-purchase and ongoing search. Pre-purchase search, ongoing search. Determinants. Pre-purchase search determinants involvement in the purchase, market environment, situational factors. Ongoing search determinants involvement with the product, market environment, situational factors. Motive. Pre-purchase search motive to make better pure decision, increased product and market knowledge. Ongoing search motive to build a bank of information for future use, increase product and market knowledge leading to future buying efficiencies, personal influence. Pre-purchase search outcomes, better purchase decisions, increased satisfaction with purchase outcomes. Ongoing search outcomes increase impulse purchase, increased satisfaction from ongoing search results. Types of search. First, internal and external search. Information search can be internal and or external. Quite simply, internal search involves consumers on recall from memory, knowledge, and experience. In external search, however, information can be gathered from an almost unlimited variety of sources outside of the individual. First, internal search. This stage immediately follows the problem recognition stage. It is a mental process of recalling and reviewing information stored in memory relating to a purchase situation. This recall may be immediate or may occur slowly. When a conscious effort is made to retrieve it, this retrieval may be complete or partial since the consumer has limitations on his ability to process information. In any case, memory tends to decay over a period of time. From the marketer's point of view, the following two dimensions of internal search are important. First, extent of search. The degree of internal search can vary widely from a simple recall of only a brand name to a more complete search through memory for relevant information, feelings, and experiences. The effort a consumer devotes to internal search depends on this motivation, ability, and opportunity to process information. Second, kind of information retrieved. A consumer generally recalls for major kinds of information: brand name, attributes, evaluation done earlier, and experience. Thus, for example, brand's name for which customer had positive preference are recalled more. Similarly, silent attribute, say naturalness of a shampoo, is likely to be recalled faster. Third, oral evaluation is recalled more than specific evaluation. Details, loosely silent, and vivid experience are recalled pattern. Whether internal search will be enough for decision making or not will be dependent on quantity and quality of stored information. If the consumer feels that he has inadequate data to decide on brand choice, then he may like to undertake external search also. External search. Thus, if information in the memory is missing, inadequate, or is suspect, then an external search is required. This search could of course be pre-purchase or ongoing, and it can be from personal sources, friends, experts, salespeople, or from impersonal sources, advertisement, media reports, windows, displays, etc. Amount of external search activity. Whether amount of external search will be low or high will depend on perceived value of search with perceived cost at attached. Customers' own characteristics, situational factors, actual or perceived risk in decision making, type of product sought. Let's study These factors: first, perceived value vs perceived cost. The extent of external search depends firstly on economics of information collection. While more information means better decision making, information collection involves incurring of costs. Some such costs are: first, financial costs. Cost of travel, parking, etc. are such costs. Time costs: greater than greater the search, more the time to be spent on it. Delays cost: more the search, greater the delay in arriving at a decision. Physical cost: fatigue and physical effort are involved. Psychological cost: mental stress, incentives, salespeople lead to incurring of psychological costs. Informational overload: too much information actually proves costly to process and arrives at a decision. In the extreme situation, this may even mean non-decision. So these costs have to be balanced against perceived value of external search. Second, individual factors. Customers' own characteristics also influence the degree of internal external search activity. External search activity, for example, greater the market experience with a product, less is the external search. Open mindedness and self confidence of consumer leads him to engage in higher external search. Higher educational level and income status person goes in for greater search. Higher the degree of involvement with a purchase, greater the external search. Situational factors: search is dedicated by certain situational factors. Also, for example, search may be reduced when the need is urgent and the amount of time available is short. Store conditions and not conducive to prolonged search. Special opportunities arise to purchase at attractive price. Risk factors: there are several types of risk factors that can discourage consumers for purchasing. Functional performance risk: the brand may not perform adequately. Financial risk: the brand may not be worth the money. Psychological risk: the brand may not fit in well with the consumer's self image, thus making him feel guilty, self indulgent, or stupid for purchasing. Social risk: the brand may negatively influence the way other thinks of this consumer. Psychological risk: use of the brand may cause bodily harm. Greater the risk perceived, higher is the search effort. The aim of the marketer should be to reduce perceived risk attached to his brand. Type of product sought: specialty goods. Here, greater search efforts in undertaken to buy the brand a consumer thinks meets his specific requirements. Shopping goods: range of choices available to the consumer in this product category will determine the extent of information search. Convenience goods: these goods are bought by the consumer. Convenience goods: these goods are bought by the customer largely on convenience factor. Thus, the convenience can make up for a little higher price that the customers may have to pay. Here, the customer is a passive information gatherer, not an active information seeker. Besides, he may not wish to get overloaded with information. Meaning and definition of information processing. Marketers are interested in knowing how consumers process and respond to their advertising messages. Consumer encounters various stimuli given by marketer like its products, brands, name, and prices. Consumers' reactions to such stimuli will depend on how they are processed by each one of them. This can greatly shape their attitudes and behaviors. Therefore, an understanding of information processing can be very useful. Information processing refers to the process by which a stimulus is received, interpreted, stored in memory, and later retrieved. Information processing principles has benefited advertising field the most, like how people process information. These findings can also be applied to other areas. For example, personal selling, package design, branding, training of sales products, etc. Stages of information processing. Information to be processed can be divided into five basic stages. Stages of information processing. Information to be processed can be divided into five basic stages. First, exposure. Stimulus given by a marketer should be such that an opportunity exists for one or more of a person's five senses to be activated. Attention. The allocation of processing capacity to the incoming stimulus. Comprehension. The interpretation of the stimulus. Acceptance, degree to which the stimulus influences the person's knowledge or attitude. Retention, when interpreted stimulus is transferred into long term memory. Exposure, attention, comprehension, acceptance, retention. Stages of information processing. Exposure. This is the first stage when stimulus input reach one or more of the five senses threshold levels. Before we understand different threshold levels, first let us define sensation. It is the immediate and direct response of the sensory organs to simple stimuli. For example, its package, brand name. Sensitivity varies with the quality of an individual's sensory receptors. Sensation is affected by three levels. They are lower or absolute threshold, the lowest level at which an individual can experience a sensation is called lower threshold level. This means that the point at which an individual can detect a difference between something and nothing is that person's lower or absolute threshold for that stimulus. Terminal threshold. This is the point at which an additional information increases its stimulus intensity have no effect of sensation. Difference threshold. Minimal difference that can be detected between two stimuli is called the difference threshold or just noticeable difference. JND. Marketers use JND for two reasons. so that negative changes like reduction in product size, increase in price, or reduced quality are not readily noticed, so that product improvements are readily discernible to consumers without being wastefully extravagant. For example, a candy bar is relatively inexpensive. Price increase in this case will be very noticeable. So, decreasing the size of bar to JND is the most preferred strategy. Subliminal persuasion. Some consumer researchers also argue that stimuli below the threshold level can also be influential. This concept is known as subliminal persuasion. Subliminal cues are implanted in the advertisement to appeal to the subconscious sex drives. For example, juxtaposition of ICE cubes in a liquor ad. Retailers nowadays use subliminal message within their stores to increase the productivity of employees. We can say that this has explored the possibility of influencing attitudes without conscious cognitive activity. Attention. All the stimuli met at active our sensory receptors during the exposure stage needs further processing. This screening of the stimuli occurs at a preconscious level and is known as pre-attentive processing. After this screening process, the stimuli enter the attention stage. Attention can be defined as the allocation of processing capacity to a stimulus. Because it is important for a marketer to know what factors influence the consumer's allocation of the limited resource. That is what makes them selective towards on one stimuli than other. For convenience, these factors have been divided into two personal factors, those characteristics of the individual that influence attention are not in the hands of marketer, but its existence must to be recognized to formulate the strategies, need, or motivation. This is true that an individual is motivated if at all his needs are activated. It should emphasize on an ad's attention getting properties, as it is not possible for an ad to reach consumers when their needs are activated. Attitudes. According to cognitive consistency theories, people strive to maintain a consistent set of beliefs and attitudes. Inconsistency may lead to psychological tensions. It is believed that people are more receptive to that information that's consistent with their set of beliefs and try to avoid those that challenge their beliefs and attitudes. A span of attention. The amount of time an individual can concentrate on one stimulus varies from person to person. Because of limited span of attention, more and more use of shorter commercials are used. Stimulus factors. These are under the control of marketers. This has to be in accordance to the personal factors. Color. The attention attracting power of a stimulus depends on the type of colors used in the ad. Size. The larger the size of the stimulus, the more noticeable it becomes. For example, full page ad in the newspaper. In a retailer's shop, the larger the shelf area of a product, the more likely it will attract attention of the consumer. Contrast, the stimuli that are inconsistent creates a perceptual conflict that attracts the attention. For example, in the ad of Levi's jeans, the whole ad is black and white except the jeans which is blue. Position. Stimuli becomes more noticeable if placed at the right place. Retailers know where to locate the products most wanted, like near eye level. In the print media, also the position of the ad is important. Accordingly, the money is charged by the company. Ads on the front page and back page are more noticeable. Directionality. The eye will tend to follow any signs within the stimulus that indicate directionality. Movement. The stimuli is motion will be more noticeable as compared to stationary stimuli. Isolation. This means if a small number of stimuli is presented in a relatively barren perceptual field, then it attracts attention. Another factors which gains attention of a consumer are an attractive spokespersons used in an ad, use of rapid fire scene changes or some kind of novelty. For example, unusual, unexpected stimuli is the ad in the ad. Comprehension. This is the third stage of information processing and is concerned with the interpretation of a stimuli. This means at this point meaning is attached to the stimulus, which is further dependent on the existing knowledge. Stimulus categorization. In this, the stimulus is classified using concepts stored in the memory. The behavior of a consumer is affected by how they categorize marketing stimuli. Stimulus elaboration. Comprehension also involves the degree of elaboration that occurs during stimulus processing. Elaboration refers to the amount of integration between the new information and existing knowledge stored in memory, or in general the number of personal connections made between the stimulus and one's life experiences and goals. Researchers focus on elaboration in the form of semantic or verbal elaboration. They sometimes ask the subject to write down the thoughts that occur while viewing the ad during ad processing. These thoughts determine the persuasive impact of a stimulus, which further helps the advertiser to plan out the ad. Recently, new concept has been introduced and used by the advertisers during information processing, that is imagery. It is a process by which sensory information and experiences are presented in working memory. For example, visualize a black forest take or imagine the smell and taste of the cake, etc. These kinds of appeals are very successfully used in the AIDS world today. Stimulus organization. How people organize. Stimulus organization. How people organize the incoming stimuli. For example, any rules or principles used by them. This comes under the area which is known as Gestalt psychology. In this, the focus is on how people organize or combine stimuli into a meaningful whole. Three basic principles of stimulus organizations are: first, figure and ground. Figure represents those elements within a perceptual field that receive the most attention, whereas the ground presentation less meaningful. Elements that comprise the ground figure is perceived clearly because, in contrast to its ground, it appears to be well defined, solid, and in the forefront. Ground is perceived as indefinite, hazy, and continuous. People tend to organize their perceptions into the above two major patterns. In an advertising context, consumer is reaction according to the advertisers should have product as a figure and model etc. as a ground. In some it's just the reverse of the advisor's intent is seen, like consumer notices the other stimuli in the perceptual field rather than the product. Grouping. Individuals tend to group stimuli automatically so that they form a unified picture or impression. The perception of stimuli as groups rather than as bits or information facilitates their memory and recall. That is, people will opt for simple perceptions even when more complex perceptions can be derived from the stimulus. Closure. This is another useful principle for Gestalt psychology, which refers to our tendency to develop a complete picture or perception even when elements in the perceptual field are missing. Every individual has this need, i.e., of course, of closure. For example, famous TY commercial soundtracks on radio makes consumer visualize the content. Also, people tend to add or subtract from stimuli to which they are exposed according to their expectations and motives using generalized principles of organization based on Gestalt theory. Sometimes advertisers use these, like in ads as well as on billboards, in which either the bottom portion or last couple of letters of their name is missing. Therefore, closure is a very popular technique in advertising. Personal determinants of comprehension. First, motivation. It can influence the elaboration that occurs during comprehension. When any product is perceived as personally relevant, more elaborate processing should occur. If the ad featuring a product is not required by an individual, then the consumer will not process the ads in an elaborate form. In contrast, when consumers are more motivated during and processing, they will engage in more thinking, especially about the advertised product, like thinking about the benefits, owning and using the product. Knowledge. Knowledge stored in memory is a major determinant of comprehension. Categorization of stimulus depends heavily on knowledge. This also enhances consumers' ability to understand a message. Knowledgeable persons are more likely to elaborate on message claims like product features, working, etc. Whereas unknowledgeable person is more likely to notice other or peripheral cues like background music, modal use, pictures, etc. within the message, expectation or perceptual set. While comprehending what are prior conceptions or expectations of an individual regarding the stimulus, this phenomenon is often observed in marketing also when blind test and labeled tests were conducted by the Coke company for Diet Coke. It was observed that consumers could not differentiate when blind test was conducted then when the sample samples were labeled. Thus the expectation created by the brand label was powerful enough to alter consumers' perceptions of the products. Similarly, expectations also plays a major role how consumers process information provided by a salesperson. If this matches, then sales takes place. Stimulus determinants of comprehension. The physical properties of a stimulus also play major role in shaping how it is interpreted. Comprehension can depend on the size, color, or the stimulus which acts as an important are in consumer perceptions. Nowadays, laundry soaps and detergents recognize the benefits of including colored granules as a visual reinforcement for product claims like Arial, Surf Excel, etc. Next, which is important, is the detail environment that also presents a potential source of context affects for example the environment in which the product is purchased. Acceptance, this is the fourth stage in the information processing. Message comprehension is not the same as message acceptance because even if the message is perfectly understood by the consumer, then also he she may not agree with the message for number of reasons. Research has shown that acceptance may heavily depend on the thoughts that occur during the comprehension stage. These thoughts are known as cognitive responses. Cognitive responses lets us under let us understand a person who has thought of buying a particular product. He she becomes highly motivated while processing an ad that contains a number of claims about that product. Then this consumer thinks about the claim's validity. The nature of these cognitive responses will determine the acceptance of the claims. Consumer faces two types of arguments while processing. First, support arguments, thoughts that are favorable to the claims. Counter arguments, thoughts that oppose the message. More support arguments means the product information is accepted in a positive manner, while opposite if counter arguments are more. Cognitive responses provide a valuable complement to standard attitude measures in evaluating communication effectiveness. They tell whether a communication leaves a favorable or unfavorable impression on the viewer but does not reveal the reasons behind this. Whether an ad fails because of ineffective spokesperson, absence of compelling arguments, or pure visuals, This can be answered by cognitive responses. Affecting responses. Affecting responses present the feeling and emotion that are elicited by a stimulus. This means advertisement impact will depend much more on how it makes us feel. Consider the diversity of feeling that ads make elicit. The table 1. Upbeat, upbeat, active, adventurous, alive, amused, attentive, attractive, carefree, cheerful, confident, creative, delighted, elated, energetic, enthusiastic, excited, good, happy, humorous, independent, industrious, inspired, interested, joyous, light-hearted, lively, playful, pleased, proud, satisfied, stimulated, strong. Negative, angry, annoyed, bad, critical, defiant, depressed, disgusted, disinterested, dubious, dull, insulted, irritated, lonely, offended, regretful, sad, suspicious, warm, affectionate, calm, concerned, contemplative, emotional, hopeful, kind, mood, peaceful, pensive, sentimental, warm hearted. In a study, subjects were exposed to a variety of television commercials and asked to indicate how strongly they experienced these feelings. The results could be categorized into three primary dimensions: upbeat, negative, and warm, as given in the table. It is seen that both cognitive and affective responses are useful in predicting the attitude formed after ad exposure. Advertisers must consider the particular cognitive and affective responses that are likely to occur during information processing. For effective communication, acceptance depends on the favorability of this response. So the aid should contain only those elements that evoke positive thoughts and feelings. Retention. The final stage of information processing is retention, which involves the transfer information to long-term memory. Human brain is divided into left and right hemispheres, which are connected by a large fiber tract known as corpus callosum. The left brain is considered to be area for logical, abstract, and conceptual thinking, while the right brain focuses on creative, initiative, intuitive, and imaginal thinking. Right brain is also involved this with the process of pictorial or visual information. People differ in the negative dominance of the two hemispheres. Some people are right brain dominated, while others are left brain dominated. Advertisers are interested in how each hemisphere responds, while consumers are processing advertising messages. In addition to the above, sociologic characteristics of memory. Some believe that there are psychological differences that exist in the structure and functioning of memory. Memory consists of three different storage systems: sensory memory, As the name tells, in this the incoming information receives an initial analyst based on properties as loudness, pitch, etc. Short-term memory. After sensory processing, it enters short-term memory. In this sensory input in combined with the contents of long-term memory so that categorization and interpretation can take place. Short term memory can hold a limited amount of information at any given point of time. Moreover, it is also limited in how long information can exist without efforts to keep it activated. It is observed that information is lost in 30 seconds or less without rehearsal. Long term memory. Long term memory is viewed as an unlimited permanent storehouse containing all of our knowledge. Marketers are interested to understand how retention takes place because they often try to implant information within the consumer's mind. So, marketers want to know what factors influence the amount of retention that occurs during information processing. Thus, by understanding the process of information search, a marketer can provide the right amount of information at the right time in the right place to induce purchase of his brand, can make a customer feel satisfied with purchase he has already made. In turn, lie may repeat purchase and or recommend it to others, can make the task easy for the customer as regards finding the information, understanding it and using it, can minimize both risks and cost to the consumer in making product selections.